So this is lunch for you. You are welcome. My name is Hulda Gideon. I'm working with the Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology. And the commission is the focal point for GBIF. And I'm the node manager of GBIF in Tanzania. So I started with this slide showing that biodiversity is very important for us. And for those who are thinking of lunch or dinner, definitely they have to think about biodiversity. My first slide is to take you through, sorry if I can minimize this, it doesn't get, okay. Hello, are you there?
Yes, we hear.
Okay. So I want to take you through, my first slide is just to tell you about my institution, which is the Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology. Our commission, we call it COSTECH, and it is a government institution which was established in years back for the aim of promoting science, technology, and innovation. And it's the chief advisory organ of the government on all matters relating to science, technology, and innovation. The commission itself has a commission, but also it has R&D advisory committees and the R&D advisory committees, and also we are affiliated to all research and development institutions, as well as higher learning institutions. So basically our core activity is to promote science and technology, and also we coordinate all the activities relating to science and technology in the country. And to that regard, through promotion of science and technology, we also provide grants for research in research and development institutions, and also in higher learning institutions, but only those research which are focusing on our national research priority areas, but also in the part of coordination of science, technology, and innovation, we also give permits for all researchers who are doing research in the country, especially those who are coming outside the country. They have to get research permits from the commission before proceeding to the field to do the research. And also in the part of innovation, we also support innovators from grassroots to research institutions and higher learning institutions. Also, in the matter again of biodiversity, as I mentioned earlier, the commission is hosting the national node of GBIF, which is called Tanzania Biodiversity Information Facility, in short form, TanBIF. Excuse me, does it move again? Okay, so what is TanBIF? TanBIF is a national coordinating body of biodiversity information, which was established in 2007 with the overall aim of fostering mobilization, digitization, and publishing of biodiversity data. So the main aim is to make biodiversity data available or accessible for research, for science in general, but also for policy making, and also want to promote tourism industry in our country. And the TanBIF is the national node of the Global Biodiversity Information Facility. Currently, because TanBIF, the way it is structured, is a consortium of institutions which are dealing with biodiversity. These institutions including research and development institutions, universities, NGOs, and also government departments. So currently, there are 35 members of 35 institutions which are members of TanBIF. And how was it started? TanBIF started in years back. First, Tanzania joined GBIF. It was in 2002. And then after 2002, it called for stakeholders meeting to see how we can improve biodiversity information system in the country. And then we were successfully supported by GBIF in 2006, late 2006, and then early 2007, we started the capacity enhancement program for developing country, which was supported by Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then from that fund, which we got from Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we called for stakeholders meeting to create awareness on the project. And then later on, in August, the members who are from institutions dealing with biodiversity, they signed a communique to establish TanBIF. So after signing of the communique in August 2007 is when now TanBIF started to deal with biodiversity. And the vision of TanBIF is to make biodiversity data. When we talk about biodiversity data, it's not about secondary data itself, but primary biodiversity data, which are generally collected from research, to make them a common property of everyone in service to science, economy, and public, so as to achieve sustainable development. And our mission is to make the country biodiversity data and information freely and available, especially via the internet, to stimulate innovation in science research that benefits sustainable socio-economic development in Tanzania. Our objectives are basically, they are 4, but when you distribute them to make someone to understand them clearly, then they are 7. The first one is to make country biodiversity data and information available and accessible, particularly via the internet. The second objective is to bring together various institutions, department organizations dealing with biodiversity and information together. That's why I said that TanBIF is a consortium. It's not just people who are at COSTECH, but it's a consortium of biodiversity institutions. And the third objective is to enhance knowledge sharing among scientists, policymakers, and general public on biodiversity. The fourth objective is to facilitate mobilization, detection, and of primary biodiversity data, and also to facilitate repatriation of country biodiversity data and information in Tanzania. You know, there are quite a lot of research which have been done in the country, but the research were done by scientists who are coming from abroad. So quite a lot of information they are abroad, and we would like them to come back to the country so that researchers in the country can use those information for more research, but also can help us for decision or policy making. And another component of the 6th objective is to promote invention of knowledge on country biodiversity. And the 7th one is to facilitate use of scientific data and information in science, biodiversity policy, and the decision making. So those are the 7 objectives of TanBIF. And through those objectives, we can divide them into 3 strategic areas. One of our strategic areas is to advance digital content The second one is on informatics infrastructure. And the third one is to advance the engagement. When we talk about engagement, we are looking at the national, regional, and the global biodiversity stakeholders so that we can engage more, and also for building capacity and so on and so on. But also when we talk about infrastructure, we are talking about the systems for biodiversity data sharing and as well as use. And the advancing digital content, we are talking about the data mobilization, digitization, and also publishing. So for after sharing with you the 3 strategic area, I just want to go straight now to give you some key highlights on the achievements which you have in those 3 strategic areas. So for digital content, you can see this is a map of Tanzania, and you see the distribution of data which we have collected. This data, those which were collected from researchers which are residing inside the country, and you see the distribution. Spotting on the distribution, we realize that the high concentration of data along the Eastern Arc Mountain. And the reason behind is we feel that quite a lot of research have been done in the Eastern Arc Mountain because it's one of the global biodiversity hotspots. And there are few data from other areas, and we feel that those areas we have to bridge the gap. On the other area which we also did, we developed the checklist of Tanzanian species. Before then, we didn't know what we have in terms of biodiversity in the country. So in 2012, we decided to come up with a list, a baseline information on biodiversity to understand which species we have. So in the checklist, we have more than 14,000 records. I mean, more than 14 species, and the majority of them, they are plants. We do have also information on polyphera, reptiles, arthropods, algae, amphibians, birds, cnidarian, and so on. So this is this was the first time when the country came up with a checklist of biodiversity species found in the country. But since this the checklist was 2012, we are in the process of revising, and we have come up with it. The number of arthropods, they have increased quietly. For instance, for bees, we have more than 1,000 records which we have, but also we do have quite a large number of records on butterflies. There are more than 1,000 records which we have. We have also received additional number of algae from University of Dar es Salaam, Botany Department, and we are also collecting more from other stakeholders. Also, we did also produce the first list of invasive species of Tanzania. So for the sake of data mobilization, we have done quite a bit, not exhaustive, but we are still doing it. In terms of advancing informatics infrastructure, as Mwalongo presented to you, we are now developing a new data portal. We had one which we launched, it was in 2008, the National Biodiversity Data Portal called TanBIF. but due to changes of technologies, we decided to shift from the former technology and come up with a new open source ALA technology, which has been approved by GBF and the quite other national nodes, for instance, the France, Spain, and also I think Benin, they are also developing their portal using the ALA technology. So for us, because we're a member of GBF, we also thought that it is important for us now to come up with new portal using the technology, which is also adopted by GBF members. When Malongo was presenting, he showed us the dashboard and the front page. The front page here, what we are seeing is the map of the Mount Kilimanjaro. As I mentioned earlier, we have this TanBIF. Also, we want to use it to promote tourism. And one of our icon for tourism in Tanzania is the Mount Kilimanjaro. For us, we decided to discuss with our fellows from the Ministry of Natural Resources, and we requested them to give us at least an image for Mount Kilimanjaro. So what we have here is a Mount Kilimanjaro image, which came from the Ministry of Natural Resources. And also for advanced engagement, as I mentioned, we launched the checklist. And here is the Vice President of United Republic of Tanzania, who was the guest of honor and the launching of the checklist. And our interest is to make sure that policymakers are part of our program, so that they all understand the importance of biodiversity. They all understand the importance of biodiversity data, so that they can integrate the issues of biodiversity and biodiversity data in the policy and decision making. And again, this is the same event when the Vice President was moving around during the exhibition, and on the right-hand side of the Vice President is the Minister for Science and Communication. So this is another photo showing us the members of Tanzania Biodiversity Information Facility when they were with the Vice President and the Minister. So, and this is the team of experts who established the checklist of Tanzanian species. And how we develop the checklist is through engagement with their national expertise, experts who are residing in the country, but also we did some consultation with foreign scientists. When you talk about other components, capacity building, as I mentioned earlier, TanBIF is a member of GBAF, and in 2017, we also got funding from GBAF bid. I think you all understand that the Global Biodiversity Information, they have this program which is called BID, Biodiversity Information for Development, which is funding sub-Saharan country to mobilize data, but also to make sure that the data are used for policy and also for science. And this is one example of the project which is funded by GBAF and is for establishing metadata of biodiversity data generated from Ramsar sites in Tanzania. But also we had another project which was for metadata on biodiversity data generated from RED Plus project. This was for BID 2017, also to 2019. This project is was implemented by University of Sokoine, which is based in Morogoro. And this year, 2021, 2023, we have 2 projects funded by GBIF. And this one is the Tanzania Forest Research Institute, which is aiming at digitalizing specimens which are located in Tafori, Lushoto Herbarium. In Lushoto, they have more than 50,000 records or collections of specimens. And these specimens, they are in analog form. We don't have electronic form. And our aim is to make sure that this data are converted into electronic format so that they can be shared on the TanBIF portal. And also we have another project for BID 2021-2023, which is implemented by National Mandela African Institute of Technology, which is based in Arusha, Tanzania. And the aim here is to digitalize freshwater invertebrate biodiversity. We are looking at crabs, mollusks, and I think there are 3 taxa which will be utilized. And as I said, this is through capacity enhancement program for GBIF, which is also funded by JRS, Biodiversity Foundation in USA. What we have for facing as challenges, one of them is availability of literatures with Swahili name of the taxa. Because our portal in our system, as you know, we have 2 major languages. We use English, and we also use Swahili as a common language. So we have a challenge of literatures in Swahili, of Swahili names. So we have at least for birds, and we do have for mammals, and a little bit for plants, but for lower taxa, we don't have Swahili names. So we have, that's another area which we think that we should focus on bridging the gap. But also we have challenges of expertise, especially in taxonomy. And another one is the resource for data mobilization and digitization. Those are the major challenges which we are facing. Our future plan is to continue with advancing digital content, but also to continue improving our national portal, which we expect before the end of this year, we launch it, and also to advance engagement at national level, regional level, and also at a global level. So this is what I've prepared for you. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, also if you go to GBIF, you can also get some data which have already published in GBIF. We have data from recently, we published that from Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute on pelagic fish of Indian Ocean, but we also published the data. We also published the data on pelagic fish from Indian Ocean. This is from Tafiri. You can see the data sets on the map, and this is the description. And we also published data on occurrence of Lepidoptera pollinator specimen, which are located in the National Museum of Tanzania. This is more than 1,800 records. We can see the distribution of the data. And we also have published occurrence of bees pollinator species along agricultural and grazing gradient in northern Tanzania, which were published by the College of African Wildlife, which is located in Moshi, Kilimanjaro. And we published data on bird pollinator species of Usambara mountain forest in Tanga. And these data which were collected by Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute. So basically, this is what we have done so far as key highlights, but there are also some other things which we have done, but I think for the sake of presentation today, I think I can submit to you for comments or if you have any question. Thank you very much.